My name is Dorothy Hutchinson. I'm the coordinator for Project Heart Start, and that is a program of the New Mexico Heart Institute Foundation and a brainchild of Dr. Barry Ramos. It is a public education program for hands-only CPR. Well, Project Heart Start started out about 4 years ago with an annual event that took place in Albuquerque one time a year. And since then it has grown to the annual event every year in June that last summer we had in 20 different towns in New Mexico. And in addition to that, we have year-round programs. So we have around 200 sessions a year. But the big one really is the event in June, which attracts perhaps or gets the most attention to the subject and gets a lot of people trained all in one day. Well, we are nonprofit organizations, so what that usually means is that your budgets aren't very big, if you have even any, because everything is dependent on donations. And so one of the first things I did when I got into this position is to develop a website and attract most of the people to this website and use that as a platform to communicate upcoming events, videos, successes, and provide the tools that other people may need to put on their own events. And in addition to that, I think you have to ask yourself who your audience is. And who do you want to reach, and how do you best reach these people? And when you think about the lack of money there is, the fact that the audience that we're trying to reach is somewhere between 18 and 30, they don't necessarily read the newspaper. So you go where they go. That means social media. And so I have put together a Facebook page which I manage and maintain, and try to drive as much traffic to that as I can. I also used Twitter and definitely email marketing as well, but really truly it all seems to be pointing in the direction of Facebook. And Facebook I think is the best platform almost, and tweets in some way as well. Because for the longest time we didn't really have enough stories to make our Facebook page interesting. So I partnered with other organizations that have similar causes, like the Sudden Cardiac Arrest Foundation, and sort of looked as to how they find stories that relate to the topic that people may find interesting. It's since then we've got more going on, and so we celebrate successes. Like, for example, recently a person who took our class saved her husband at Sports and Wellness, and I heard about it, pretty much ran over there to meet them, to talk to the staff, took some footage of them, and had them explain what had happened, and then posted that on Facebook. And all of a sudden, and then boost the posts when you have to. Sometimes that's really helpful, and it doesn't cost very much. I think it's a combination of many of them. Email is somewhat effective. Texting is a new one. I think I'd like to explore more about how to send mass text messages to people, because it turns out that a lot of people don't open their emails. They just get too many of them. And so you just don't reach them. You think you do, but you don't. You spend a lot of time trying to compose a message and they never see it. And so Facebook, I think, works in some ways. Tweeting can, but just shortly before the event, because the message is so short, And you really have, I think with tweets, you have to think about building your network first. Because if you don't have enough followers, it makes no sense. Nobody will see your tweet, I like imagery, and I think people like imagery. People like video. So I'm right now. I'm thinking about perhaps getting kids involved in helping to create some of their own views about this topic, and letting them be the voice in the community instead of me or Dr. Ramo, because we've done it for so long. People have now seen it. I think they need to hear from the rest of the community that this is an important thing. Just this last June, I would say in Albuquerque alone, we had over 200 volunteers that helped. And so you have to thank them, and you have to thank them publicly. So that becomes part of your message. You want the rest of the community to know who's behind the scene, because it's not a one woman show. So I use that. Following up with all the people who attend is not an easy task, because they don't always give you ways to get in touch with them. It's up to them to do that. Email addresses change very quickly, and they may not be the best way to get a hold of somebody because they change all the time.